All right, so the next part of my Mind Shift series is not just for my buyers, it is also for my sellers. And one of the biggest mindset shifts that you need to do when you are ready to sell your house, or at least get into that process. Sorry, it's freezing out there. I'm like pumping gas right now. Anyway, so the biggest mindset shift that you need to do is shifting from being a homeowner and into being an actual seller of your home. And the main reason for this is because when you're a homeowner, you have different goals than when you are a seller. Okay, as a homeowner, you're going to live in this house for years to come. You're going to want to make updates to this house, not only to make it nice and livable, but it's also kind of to your liking, to your expectations, what you want to live in every day. Like, do you want nice closet organizers? Do you want granite countertops? Or, what is it that you love specifically about this house? Those are the updates that you're going to do to your home, right? But as a seller, we kind of have to take a step back and think more as a strategist, because as a seller, our main goal is to sell your home as much money as possible, so you can get the net proceeds of that sale. You want as much money as you can make possible on the sale, and as quickly as possible. You don't want to have your property sit on the market for 100 years, right? Like, you want to put it on the market, you want to sell it, you want to sell it for top dollar. That is the goal as a seller. And part of getting that goal, achieving that goal as a seller, is, again, thinking like a strategist and thinking how you can position your home in its best light, and not necessarily making every single update that you could possibly make on this house, because you could probably spend all of your equity trying to do that, right? But you have to think of the long game. Like, you're not going to stay here. You're going to be moving to a new house. So anytime that comes up for you, what I highly suggest is to stop, take a minute. Anytime that you're going to make an update or a repair or anything like that, think as a seller. Is this something that, is required to make this house livable? And is this something that, I need to do now? Because as a seller, you are required to disclose anything to that potential buyer about this property that you were aware of. And that buyer is also going to likely do a home inspection, pest inspection, all the things to make sure this is a sound investment for them as well. And that's another part of why it's so important to think as a strategist, as a seller, because sometimes you'll make all the updates and all the things to your home, even the stuff that's maybe not required. It's kind of nice, and you want to position your home in its best light. And, there's a way to do that, but then if you're going kind of overboard, and then you get that home inspection back from that buyer, or you usually don't get it back. They will have it because they're paying for that. But you will likely get a request for repair and or credit. That's how we do it here in California. And your buyer may ask you to make more repairs to your home. And if you've already spent, $10,000, $20,000 getting your home sellable and perfect how you wanted it, and then now you're going to have to negotiate with that buyer on this update that you need to do now, like, you have to think of as a strategist, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to protect that net proceeds of your sale. And it's important to think as a strategist, so that way when something does come back, especially if you have an older home, that you have the funds and the means to be able to pay for that, and even use that as a negotiable bargaining chip. And like, for instance, when we sold our house, we got it all up to date, prepped, ready to sell, new paint, new flooring, all the things, updated our bathrooms, everything that we did to make it shine in its best light. Got new fencing, all the things. And we even did some updates and repairs because we had wood siding at the time on our house. And with wood siding, there's always something, especially on our side of the house, that didn't get a lot of sunlight because the houses are so close together. And we had fixed all the dry rot, or so we thought. And 6 months later, when we went to sell the house, there was more dry rot that was found in the buyer's home inspection. But instead of having to pay that whole 10 grand or whatever it was, we actually split the difference with the buyer. So they paid half and we paid half, because we negotiated that during the transaction, during the escrow process. And so that's why it's so important to think as a strategist, as a seller, because you may not need to pay everything out of pocket. You may be able to have that buyer pay a portion of the proceeds of that. Okay, but it really depends on what it is. Like if it's something that you need to have, like plumbing or electrical or something that's required to keep the house in working order, that's much different than putting in new granite countertops that are your favorite ones that you love right now. Like be just aware of what you're spending your money on and thinking as a seller, not as a homeowner. And anytime you get tempted, just pause, take a minute, and just remember, is this something that I would want as a homeowner 5 years from now? Remember, you're selling it. Or is this me as a seller? I'm trying to get my home sold. And if it's the first one, just remember, anytime you have that creep up, focus that energy, all of that, onto your next house. What do you want when you're buying? Like anytime that you start feeling the itch to update this house and make it nicer and upgrade it more, and you just want to get it perfect, think of that next house and start focusing on what you want in that next house, and focus all that energy and excitement on when you buy your next home. So I hope this helps. You guys have a great day. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you are ready to strategize your session of selling your home and kind of getting your position in its best light without overdoing it, my information's below and you can reach out to me and we can schedule that together. Have a great day, guys.